Hey guys, TommyBryson here, and today it is around 1:14 p.m. and the market is still wide open, and I'm gonna go ahead and sell a bunch of my investments and tell you exactly why I'm selling them, also the taxes, and on top of that exactly what I'm going to do with the money, reinvest it, keep it, buy a Nintendo Switch, buy a new TV, buy a car. What exactly am I gonna do with that money? And by the way, since it is a video for beginners, I'm gonna go step by step and tell you exactly what I'm doing, but most importantly, exactly why I'm doing what I'm actually doing, which is basically the most important thing. And if you guys are new here, I post videos every single day, so you should also subscribe, hit the bell so you get notified. On top of that, also destroy the like button. Now, the first thing I want to address is this, guys. As you guys probably know, as a YouTuber, I have a bunch of different apps to invest with. I have the Cash App, I have Robinhood, SoFi Money, Webull, M1 Finance, I have Vanguard, I have a bunch of them. You name it, I got it. But that's basically because, guess what? I have to try them out, do reviews on them, and just because I have these apps does not mean I recommend every single one of them. If I was not a YouTuber and had to do reviews, I would only basically use one app, and that's called M1 Finance. Did they pay me to say this? The answer is no. This is not an ad. I basically just use them because basically it's the best product that I found that works best for me as a passive investor. So when I'm going through this entire video and showing you exactly what I'm buying, where I'm selling, it's not that I have all these platforms because I love them, but because basically I tested them out and now it's time to go ahead and clean them up. Now, the very first platform I want to show you guys is basically Robinhood. Now, honestly, guys, I'm going to show you guys right here my iPhone, okay? And by the way, this right here is my iPhone, and as you can see right here, this is also my iPhone, okay? It's just a screen recording. That way you guys know exactly what I'm doing, okay? I'm going to click here. Just so you guys see, it's random. It's not my like a fake portfolio, whatever. But the answer is, guys, as you guys can see right here, it only shows that I have around like 9 investments, okay? And that is about it. And also BTC, which is Bitcoin, and right now it's skyrocketed, okay? But the answer is this, guys. Prior to around 11 a.m., I had more than around 30 different investments, and I went ahead and sold all of them on camera, but unfortunately, the software I used to record my screen crashed, and now I'm using a new one, so it doesn't happen again. But just to show you guys the proof here, okay? Because again, I like facts, I like transparency, and I like being honest. And to be honest, you have to show the facts always. So in my message right here, which basically shows exactly what I sold. So about an hour ago, like I told you guys, okay, when my whole footage deleted, I basically sold all of these investments right here. Now you might say, Tommy, wow, this is a lot, right? A lot of money you basically made. The answer is no. In all honesty, guys, all these shares that I basically sold were basically shares I got whenever you guys actually signed up to Robinhood, and I got a new share, and basically you guys also got a new share of whatever stock they actually gave you randomly. Now, the core idea to why I went ahead and sold all these investments right here was basically, plug, I sold this, I made around $200 or so. The reason I sold all these investments basically because I did not pick them. I know nothing about it. It's all random, and it's not within my circle of confidence or competence, whatever you want to call it, because basically this is not what I invest into. I'm not into solar. I'm not into GoPro anymore. I'm not into, by the way, I also sold Macy's, and by the way, Macy's used to be around $45 5 years ago, and today it's only selling for around $11 per share, okay? I sold every single investment I had that Robinhood gave me randomly. Now, overall, this made me around $915. And by the way, if you guys are wondering, tell me, why is your account red? Are you losing money? The answer is no. It's basically because it says 1 day. So my 1 day performance is 0.41%. I'm actually down around $69 or so. And by the way, the market is open, so it's going to be going up and down. But overall, if I click all, my overall performance is around 49%, and I'm actually up around $5,694. So I'm still making a ton of money, well, a decent amount of money on Robinhood. Now, I do want to break down one thing, guys, okay, which is basically, I sold all these random investments, which basically, I did not pick to invest into them. They were all random and made no sense. On top of that, tell me what's going to happen with the taxes after you went ahead and sold all of these investments, okay? Because basically taxes are very important. Well, the answer, guys, is very simple. When it comes to taxes, there are two types of taxes when it comes to investing. It's basically long-term capital gains tax and also short-term capital gains tax. And it's also qualified and non-qualified dividends, but basically that's another video for another day. But in this case, okay, when you have long-term capital gains tax, you get taxed between 0%, 15%, and also 20%, but that's about it. And long-term is basically if I hold an investment, for example, let's say I went ahead and I held my entire investment into Macy's, right, for 1 year and 1 day. If I held that like that for 1 year and 1 day, basically, that would be long-term capital gains tax if I sold it after that 1 year and 1 day. However, if I went ahead and held Macy's for less than a year, the answer is, well, I'm going to get short-term capital gains tax. Now tell me, what exactly happens when it comes to short-term capital gains tax? In reality, you don't get taxed at either 0%, 15%, or basically 20%. In reality, you get taxed at ordinary income up to 37%, which is actually pretty high if you ask me. So let's say, for example, if I'm in college and I sold my investments I made, for example, $10,000, I'm going to be taxed at 0%, if it's actually long-term capital gains tax. But for example, if I'm in college and also have a job and also made $10,000, in reality, they're going to roll over that gain into my ordinary income, and that might kick me into a new tax bracket, and I might get taxed at 24% or up to 37%, depending on how much money I actually make. And that's basically how it works. However, guys, there's one more thing I want to show you guys here in Robinhood, okay? Again, I cleaned up all of my investments by selling all of these accounts around an hour ago, okay? The proof is in the pudding, okay? Here, I sold this one, I sold this one, I sold all of these investments about an hour ago. However, what I was left with is basically these investments right here, which is basically Delta, VA, and the rest of these are basically just ETFs, okay? All these 7 right here are basically just ETF, and what's left over is Microsoft and also Delta. That is about it, my real investments. However, I'm going to go ahead and move this from here, from Robinhood, over to SoFi, because basically SoFi is going to cover the fee that Robinhood is going to charge me to basically transfer my investments over to SoFi Money, because then I want to transfer it over to my real portfolio with M1 Finance. So far, guys, I told you what I sold and why I sold it. Basically, random stocks I didn't need. On top of that, what am I going to do next with all that money? Well, I told you about taxes, and now I'm going to tell you exactly what I'm going to do with all of that money. But here is my real portfolio, and again, I only have $915 extra because I basically went ahead and sold all of those investments. So here we go, guys, okay? Let's go into my M1 Finance portfolio, which is basically now my real portfolio, where I basically invest the bulk of my money. And by the way, this portfolio right now has around $91,180, and I'm up around 16.10%. An hour ago, I was only up around 15.something%, but now it actually went up to around 16%, which is actually pretty cool. And again, I only invest in here into 7 different ETFs, and that's about it. If you want to invest the way I invest into, if you're a beginner and want to be a passive investor, basically just ETFs, or basically you own the entire market, ETF stand for electrically exchange traded funds. That's basically what it is, okay? That's all it is to it. But overall, I'm gonna grab that $900 from Robinhood and go ahead and transfer it over into my M1 Finance portfolio, which is basically my main portfolio. However, I also want to show you guys one more portfolio here. It's basically my SoFi Money portfolio. Now this portfolio right here, and by the way, guys, I've been getting a lot of calls here, which is basically all like scam calls. Now, if you guys know any, for example, like spam call blockers, like apps, let me know that we can install it, because basically I keep getting like my insurance for my car is broken. I don't even have a car. Okay, I don't know what they're talking about. Like, use a better excuse, okay? But here you go, guys, okay? Basically, with SoFi Money, I have around $44,000, okay? And on top of that, I have all of these investments right here, which is basically VOO, I bought that. VNQ, I bought that. VA, I bought that. Delta, I bought that. But GM, ZM, Lyft, VWO, Work, Google, JNJ, Snap, all these other ones right here, I did not buy, because basically, when you guys signed up with my link, you got $50, and whatever you bought, I get. So you guys basically bought these right here. So although I sold all my Robinhood investment because basically they're random, I'm gonna go ahead and hold on to whatever you guys bought to see exactly what happens in the next like 5 years or 10 years and keep you guys updated. But by the way, so far on Zoom, because of the pandemic, obviously, I'm actually up around 110%. So basically, I've made double my money just like that, which is actually pretty cool. But also on Delta, I made that investment. I'm actually up around 85%, which is actually also pretty cool. Tell me, when will you sell and when do you sell? The answer is whenever I buy an investment, I don't plan on selling. I hold on for the long term, between 3 to 5 to 10 to forever, basically. I don't sell before 3 years. I want to see exactly, give time for the investment to actually develop and see exactly what happens, okay? And that's basically it. In SoFi Money, this is the money I have here. However, guys, okay, as you guys can tell, I have around 49 shares of VOO, which is basically the S&P 500. And by the way, it's around $16,000. And if you've been here for a while, I did not have this much money in SoFi a month ago. I only had around $22,000. What happened is this, okay, guys? I went ahead into Acorns. And if you guys don't know the drama here, Acorns used to be my favorite app, but then I stopped using it because basically they switched around everything. And that's not what I actually wanted. And it keeps giving me problems to sign in, but eventually it does sign in. But before it signs in, guys, the idea is that right now, I only have around $900 invested here. And it's basically because I sold everything I had there and transferred my investment with VOO over to SoFi. And that way, I'm done with this app. Because basically, Acorns works if basically you want to invest and you want to keep your money there. And you want Acorns to sell whenever they want to sell, buy whenever they want to buy, and do whatever they want to do with your money. That's what it is. It's 100% passive. But if you want control and you want to buy whatever you want to buy, whenever you want to buy it, and you want no one to have the permission to actually sell it, the answer is Acorns is not for you. But again, a lot of people like Acorns because basically all the money I have here invested is just from referrals. People that say, hey, Tommy, I actually like it. I don't want to think about it. I want to do everything. In that case, it makes sense. And that's why in the past 30 days, I made around $700 just from referrals because basically people like Acorns. It's not for everyone, but it is for a lot of people out there. And that's why it makes sense. However, guys, overall, I also have the Cash App, which I invest money into. And right here, guys, that's pretty cool. I have invested around $3,540. So that's actually pretty cool, right? But if I click all here, so far I've made around 47% of my money just on these two investments right here. It's basically VOO also, and also Apple, which basically was just a test. But so far, I've made $2.18 from a $3 investment, which basically I almost double my money so far just by investing into Apple. That's pretty cool if you ask me. And lastly, guys, there's one last app that I actually want to cover, and that's basically Webull. And in Webull, again, I tried it out, but again, I don't really like this app, if I'm being honest here. And here's my positions. I only have like Zan, which is Banco Santander, and also Levi. And again, I didn't buy this. Like, it basically was just a free stock when you guys signed up. And in this case, it's stuff that I also don't want. So let me go ahead and trade. Put my face in. But in this case, all I really have in Levi is around 1 share. So I'm going to go ahead and sell this share right here. And boom, sell. And yes, confirm. Go ahead and sell it, please. And then boom, Levi has been sold. On top of that, let's sell the other one that I actually have here, which is basically San. And go ahead and click trade. Put my face in. Well, no more, I guess. Click sell. And sell that 1 share that I actually have in here. And boom, this has also been sold. And by the way, guys, you might be telling me, I noticed you sold all these investments right here, right? But what if you actually held on to all these investments and one of them could have been the next Amazon or the next Berkshire Hathaway or the next Tesla? In reality, the odds of that happening are very slim. And because basically I sold all this stuff and basically I got $900, I can use that money and invest it in my portfolio for the next 30 years. And just so you guys see the power of this, I want to show you guys a quick equation here, okay? And here it is, okay? Here's what happens with that $900 I'm going to invest in my portfolio over the next 30 years, for example. $900, and I'm not going to add any money, for example. Not at all. And on top of that, I'm going to give it 30 years to actually grow. Well, over at around a 10% return, because basically it makes me around 8% plus 2% for dividends by reinvest it. In reality, in 30 years, $100 grows into around $15,000. So basically, I get to make 15 times my money by going ahead and investing all that money today. Well, more around like 17% of my money, okay, which is actually pretty cool. Well, 17 times my money, not percent. That's how cool it is. So I could either keep that money in there and wish and cross my fingers, or I can go ahead and sell all that stuff and basically go ahead and make that money during the long term. And that's basically why I did what I did. But guys, overall, that is about it for this video. If you are a beginner, the point is, okay, if you want to be passive, invest the way I invest, with a portfolio of ETFs. If you want more information on that, I have a video on your portfolios down below for free also. But on top of that, make sure you understand taxes, long-term and also short-term capital gains tax. And lastly, if you want to be an active investor and pick stocks here and there, I recommend 3 books. Number 1, Uncommon Profits by Philip Fisher, and also Intelligent Investor by Benjamin Graham. And lastly, One Up on Wall Street by Peter Lynch. Those 3 books right there are going to help you a ton when it comes to how do I invest if I want to pick stocks. But if all you want to do is just invest the way I invest, link down below to Finance, and that way you invest exactly the way I invest, okay? And by the end of the year, I should have well over maybe $200,000 invested. And in the next 5 to 7 years, I should have my goal of around $1.2 million invested. But if you want to get started, for example, just start with around 10% of whatever you make. 2 years ago, I started with around $7, and that was it. $7.14, something like that. But again, I did not start with 100K or 90K or 91K. No, I started out with $7 and invested 10% of everything I made every time I got paid, and that's how I grew it to what I have today. That's the idea, guys, okay? Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, comment down below, and any video suggestions, comment down below also, and I'll make those videos by tomorrow also. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. As always, like this video. On top of that, also subscribe and hit the bell so you're notified. And if you want to text me or talk to me one-on-one, so to my Patreon, link down below, or send me a DM on Instagram at TommyBryson. If you want to see a video on basically portfolios and how to invest passively, here's that video right here. And click my face right now. I'll show you guys tomorrow. Thanks for watching, and as always, peace.